Hello and happy week, and this is Joseph from KILT BEARD CO. Hoping that you had a great week and that you're going to have even a better weekend. So today we're going to be trying some Nikka Coffey Malt Whisky. This is a very unique whiskey. It comes from a coffee still, and I don't think I've ever tried this before. And when I was sipping this with Dakota the other day, and we really went into the first sips as, oh man, you paid way too much for this. This is not good. I finally got one up on you, kind of a thing. Typically, I'll find some of those gems, if you will, that are, I don't know, you basically... So I'll find those gems that are like 40, 50 bucks that taste like $100, $150 that we just all love. And this was one of those times I spent $80 for a bottle, and at first we're like, I'm not sure about this one, but this one does grow on you. So let's pour a glass to the weekend and get into it. Got my High West glass, and this is cool. This is actually a twist. Some people may be against that, but actually I'm kind of for it. It seems like it would seal it in a little bit better than a cork. And this one just makes sense. And this is a Japanese whiskey, so the uniqueness even comes through that even more so. And for those of you who can't see on the small cam, this is what it looks like on the big cam. Cheers. So when we say coffee, it's a very subtle coffee. And it's just something you never tried before if you've never tried a barley constant still kind of whiskey infusion of really almost everything good that I like: coffee, whiskey, caramel notes, vanilla notes, and many others, all in one. But it takes a second for the taste buds and the brain to really kind of like put it together. So a coffee still, as I've learned, refers to the column steel design patented by, I think the guy's name is 𝐒𝐕, a coffee in 1830. A more efficient alternative to the pot still, it is capable of continuous distillation by reheating the liquid rather than requiring distillation in batches, and can produce higher ABV spirits than pot stills. Coffey malt is made from 100% malt barley, so sort of on the beer side of things. However, it is not categorized as malt whiskey, but it's a grain whiskey. Since it is not distilled in a pot still, this unique production method results in extraordinary flavors and texture, and I 100% agree with that. It's just, like I said, it's one of those drinks that just sips that grow on you. The coffee still is the world's first patented continuous still invented by Mr. 𝐒𝐕 Coffey in 1830. Amada Kara Tadakusu valued this feature of this type of still, which retains the flavors of ingredients and also creates a distinctive texture. So coffee grain and coffee malt are Nikka's signature grain of the whiskeys, which show the beauty of the coffee stills. And so this one's a 45% ABV, and on the back of the bottle it reads, "The originality of this 100% malt expression lies in the uniqueness distillation method. Malted barley is distilled in a coffee still, a traditional continuous still which is normally used to produce grain whiskey. Discover this whiskey's extraordinary texture, which Nikka has especially developed for whiskey aficionados. And yeah, so for $80, I wouldn't pay more for this, but it's definitely worth the $80. And if you, for a Japanese whiskey, to try a different one infused with coffee, something out of the norm into a grain like that is really just very welcoming. So have you tried Nikka a coffee still? Have you tried a coffee still before? I have not. And I think this is really one, if you have not tried it and you would like to try one sometime, this would definitely be one to consider. The mouth, well, the nose and the mouth here, you really do get that honey, for sure coffee, vanilla, caramel, and maybe a little bit of cinnamon too. It's very delightful. And like I said, this just develops over time when you keep on sipping it. And as you can see in the bottle, there's half a bottle here. So we had a really great discussion followed by a good whiskey is a great night. You can leave keep a bar aside and the night out and everything, spend all the extra money when you have a good conversation and a good whiskey to go with it. That makes for a great night. So once again, great whiskey, highly recommend it. If you've never tried a coffee still before, why not get yourself this bottle? You'll appreciate it. If you don't like coffee, it's not high in coffee notes, but the coffee is very subtle on top. And everything else, the vanillas and the cinnamons and toffees and everything kind of come right behind the coffee. So you kind of get that coffee, then all those other extra layers that come up behind it. So cheers to the weekend. And yeah, let's do a wrist check. Got my camera off down there. So wrist check. So today I am wearing the Swatch Moonswatch Mission to the Moon edition. Now I'll take this off for you. I got it on the natal strap. I love this natal strap. Honestly, I have loved a natal strap on every Swatch that I have to wear in my collection. I just do not like the Velcro. It's just clumps. It bulges up, and I really just don't care for it. But here's the watch here in its glory. So something cool that I noticed that, so like you can actually, I guess, fake these now. So these are like $270 if you get them retail from a Swatch store. Can't find them online. And there are many ways I go about trying to get a watch like this, or I have gotten these watches if I have not been able to get them from the Swatch store in Las Vegas, because that's the closest one, as you may know from my Saturn breakdown, that I will pay up to what it would cost for me to go down and back in a vehicle on top of the 270, because that seems reasonable if you really want this watch. The watch really is not, what can I say? The watch is really not the price over 270, but scarcity and you don't have a watch store in your area, it would make sense. So, but anyways, two things I look for. Actually, there's a bunch of things I look for from a fake to a legit Moon watch, or a Moon Swatch, excuse me. So first of all, in the glass, right in here in the middle, there is a very faint S. It's an S for like Swatch. So you'll find that there. I also try to get this watch with the sticker still on there, and always, I have not seen it different from either buying it from the store or getting it online from somebody with a legit listing of this. I'll take it off again here. Maybe I'll just take it off until we can finish this. But you'll see the Swatch sticker. And the Swatch sticker will say Swatch right here. And the sticker will be perfectly on there. And yes, it's like a 3 to 5 cent sticker. But honestly, that is one key aspect that I think is very important to mitigating a fake one of these. The other one is the color. The color is very distinct. They're usually darker colors, not like towards the black of things, but they're darker colors. The pushers, yes, these look fake because it's like a bioceramic, but they just are a little bit more together. That's the best way I could say it. Also, aesthetically, you're going to get a very centered tachymeter. I was going to call it tachometer. A tachymeter around here. This will be all centered around here. You'll get the 60 aligned with the 12 and the 120 aligned with the 6. That's one thing also. Also, on the back, when you have the moon is going to, we see the moon all the time. It's going to look exactly like you've always seen the moon. If it's too faded or too yellow, as in the print of it is kind of yellowish, it's a fake. The other thing is the box. Now, the fakes have been getting better with boxes lately, and the box itself is very texturized, and it's not just smooth, it's got some texture to the box. Also on the box, there won't be no misspellings or grammatical errors, so look for that also. So those are just some key ideas, key looks if you're looking to get yourself a Moon Swatch still, that you can get a legit one. I see so many times on Reddit that, hey, check my watch, I'm not sure. If you have to ask that question, you're not educated enough on the watch, or you have bad vibes. Your sixth sense is telling you, don't buy that watch, don't buy that watch. So a little bit more about this watch. So this steel gray watch, it's not real steel, but it's a steel gray, as in the categorization of the color, is complete with a black Velcro strap. I don't have the strap on me right now. It's in its box somewhere. All hands and the tachymeter scale are in white, just like the original Moon watch. All dials carry the 𝐒𝐂𝐑𝐈𝐍𝐊 Swatch branding, as well as the iconic Speedmaster logo and the new Moon Swatch logo. The biosource glass construction, the hidden S integrated in the center of the crystal. It's more plastic. The fine, sophisticated circular pattern on the dial, outer ring, and the recessed subdials. The sharp and smooth lugs construct the iconic dot over the 90. Detail the tachymeter scaled bezel, and of course the unique bioceramic touch are common to all models. So they're really laying it out here, what to look for when you're just trying to grab one of these off online, or you're trying to inspect one. If you have to send it back or have a claim to something, like maybe on eBay or something like that. All hours, minutes, chronograph seconds, hands, and hour markers. Sport Super Luminova for a perfect glow in the dark. The Luminova is okay. If you're in the market for a Super Luminova that's really bright, I think there's other brands out there, other watches you can get, maybe from Seiko, for example, that for $300 that will be brighter. But it does glow in the dark somewhat. I don't believe it glows really great. but that's just me. Maybe I'm biased because I've seen so many different types of watches, and I have high expectations if you're going to be having a super luminova that it's going to be stinking bright, at least for the first 15 minutes or so, at the very least. But yeah, so the watch, I love this watch. It's very light, like super light, and just one of those timeless watches. I think every watch enthusiast should have one of these in their collection. Some people would say you're not a purist, whatever, but at the same time, it was one of the most popular watches, most sought after watches for almost 2 years now. So, price aside, this should be one watch that should be in your collection. Speaking of collections, so I am considering a future watch. Speaking of the Speedmaster, but I'm not a fan visually of the Speedmaster as we just seen right here. How it would be the original Speedmaster. I'm just not a fan of the face. I understand the history and etc. like that, and I respect the history of it, but Omega has done some really unique things with the Speedmaster that I really explored. The limited edition 1957 Speedmaster Panda with the awesome, in my opinion, date at the 430. So you got the Panda Daytona, you got Panda a Breitling, you got the Panda Tudor, and this Omega 1957 Panda. Aesthetically, I think this is amazing. I love the all black. I appreciate it just being black without the little rings around there. To me, it brings out the numbers a little bit more. I like the white dials and subdials. I also like the date. I prefer a date on a watch, and chop my legs off from underneath me or whatever you want. I need to know the date often. I run a business, and honestly, some of my days run right into each other. I don't know if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know what day it is, what date it is. I'm writing out a check. I'm doing some kind of document. I need to know what the date is. So for me, date makes sense. I need to know the date. And plus, I got kids, and I'm trying to figure out what day I gotta be here or there with them also. So that's a little soapbox. However, I do appreciate those people who don't, like the date on there for whatever reason, and I respect that also. But back to this watch here. I do like this watch. It's a 42 millimeter. It has the pushers. It has everything that you find in the Speedmaster. It has the Panda, and you're not paying the Rolex Panda price. There's only 2,009 of these that were limited, and this was released in 2009. And I really would love to get my hands on this watch. I found one from Japan in chrono with papers. So I'm a person who prefers papers. Well, box and papers. A, I can continue to tell a story. B, it's easier to sell if you ever need to sell. Also, it'll keep a higher price than one without. Many Omegas will go down in price, but however, if you have box and papers, you're a lot more better off with the box and papers than without them. However, if you're just a person who wants a watch, you're not an enthusiast, you don't collect watches or anything like that, I get the watch that you want, regardless of papers. Just make sure it's legit and make sure that aesthetically it makes sense to you and rock that thing out. So that's my thoughts. That's what I'm wearing on my wrist today. This is one watch that I'm considering for 2024. Trying to track down and get the right price and make sure that I can shop with confidence, etc. like that. What's your next watch? Do you have any watches on the horizon? Shoot, do you even have the 1957 Panda? I would love to hear your thoughts on it, how it wears, how the light hits it, the loom, the pushers, all the way down to the bracelet, etc. I'd love to hear your thoughts. delicious. So ingredient spotlight. So today we're going to talk about sweet almond oil. Sweet almond oil is obtained from pressing the seeds of the almond tree, or also almond nuts. Due to the rusticity and the adaptation of drought, arid climate, almond trees become the main nut tree in the Mediterranean zones. So commonly planted varieties are the result of a combination of human and natural selection. So also sweet almond oil is very different from almond oil. I really never pay attention to that. And sweet almond oil comes from sweet almonds, Prunus delucus, areas almond oil comes from the bitter almonds. So bitter almond oil is not well suited for the skin. It can actually cause problems, and you want to stay away from those kind of oils if they're even out there. Whereas sweet almond oil contains a wide array of nutrients to benefit your skin. And a few of the positives or highlights of what sweet almond oil does for the beard and skin. One, it gets rid of beard itch, and you may have heard me say it before, that's one of the top 3 things that here at KILT Beard Co. we have that in mind when we have a product. We want to make sure that if we have a product in the beard that they don't have an itch. We want to relieve that beard itch. So it's rich in fatty acids, and it helps both moisturize and condition the beard hair and the skin underneath. This can help reduce dryness, itchiness, and flakiness. Excuse me. So, like I said, this is one of the top 3 things that most people either shave a beard off, they don't like their beard, or they just can't get to those longer stages in the beard growth stage. Because remember, if you didn't know, you get about 5.5 inches on average of beard hair. From my young life, you get 5.5 inches. I think you get less when you get older, so you can grow more when you're younger. So 5.5 inches in 1 year will definitely tell you what kind of beard that you're going to get. And having sweet almond oil will help you along the way to achieve that, because it will help relieve that itchiness. Another cool thing that sweet almond oil does, it makes the beard follicles reduce like tanglement and breakage. So that's one thing. Like when you're trying to comb it through, you're not getting stuck either with a comb or a beard brush. You're just going through nice and soft. And honestly, you should not aggressively be brushing your facial hair. That just wreaks havoc on your beard, and you're doing damage. Just a nice, easy going through the hair and styling it the way you want. Use your hands. It's okay. You can use your hands. Get a little greasy. You can wash them off real quick. That'll be okay. Promoting growth, like I've mentioned before in other videos, it moisturizes the beard. It provides an environment where your beard has a maximum potential to grow. And I can't stress that enough, that just like a plant, you need sun, you need nutrients, and you need water. Well, we really don't need too much sun for our beard. Sun's more for our skin and for our mood. But you do need nutrients, which like sweet almond oil does. It has vitamin E and other fatty acids in here. And you also need to moisturize to get all those other ingredients that come with a beard oil, so that you have that moisturization. You bring the water to the surface of your skin so that your follicles can grow, the roots can grow, so you have a strong from root to tip, and then you won't have breakage, you won't have entanglement. You have a nice soft beard like I do right here. It's very soft, and you just have a perfect beard. So that's what we're going for. And adding shine. So it's important to show off the hair pigment color and to show a sign of beard health to onlookers. So when I'm out in the sun and I have stuff in my beard, it's not greasy. Like right now I have the Best Damn Beard Butter in right now because, long story short, I was testing a new concoction with essential oils, and I left it in there too long. So washed that out, and I put the Best Damn Beard Butter to really give all the nutrients back in there, get that moisturization that I need, so it will look and feel great. But that aside, adding shine, and you don't want to be able to have it all greasy. I say after about 15 minutes, if you don't over applicate, you should have your beard oil, if it's organic, all natural, no additives, things like that, it should just soak right into your roots and into the hairs of your beard. So that's what we're working on right there when we talk about sweet almond oil. Look for it in your product. I always recommend looking for either organic virgin, something along that line, cold press, unrefined, all those, I wouldn't call them taglines, but those categorizations will let you know you're on the right path to get a quality ingredient in sweet almond oil. Man, my throat is dry today. I think I've just been talking way too much. But, so, book of the month. So the book of the month that I'd like to share with everybody is one that I've listened to probably about 4 times, maybe 5 times in part. 4 times full and maybe half another time. It's called Never Split the Difference. And it's by Voss. What is that? Chris Voss. And so this man was head of a hostage negotiation for the FBI. And he has a really cool story. I believe he's passed now. But you can also find him on YouTube too. But I highly recommend listening to this book. He emphasizes the power of empathy, viewing it as a critical tool for negotiation. In his perspective, empathy transcends simply understanding that others, the other parties, like emotions. It includes recognizing their worldview, their fears, and their aspirations. A real cool story in this book is how I think he went to Harvard, one of the top Ivy League schools there, for negotiations in their business school. And they were teaching a negotiation, and something along the lines where you get X amount of money and you have to negotiate on some kind of object or contract or something like that, and see what the outcome was. And every time he would negotiate with the students, he would come away with almost 90+% of what he went in to negotiate for. For example, if I went in for $10, you went in for $10, somehow I would talk you into, or he would talk you into giving him at least 9 of the $10. And somehow the guy who had $1 would actually be happy that they still have $1 left. They felt like they had a great negotiation. So this guy really knows what he's talking about. He has really good examples. Some very stressful situations too, like in the jungle or something like that in the book. I can't remember. It's been a little bit. But for him, the starting point for him is that he tries to get everybody at a no, or something that equals a no, because that shows where the bottom of the negotiation is, and that how he can work with all the other information that he has received in the conversation prior to that no, so he can build upon that to get a maximized yes and a proposal to win. Many people, as he will continue on to say, are taught a win-win situation, which also helps the person who has the mindset of never splitting the difference, because most people are conditioned to go in and get a 50-50 or 60-40 or something like that, or have the mindset that they are going to enter the negotiation. If they lose a little bit, they'll pick it up sometime in the future. his point of view is you should never split the difference. You have your plan, you have your numbers, you have your goals, you have your forecasts, and unless there's some extraordinary circumstance that comes to light that you don't know about, you should not split the difference. You should go in for what you want. And if you can say it right and you can ask the right questions by using mirroring in your questioning and things like that is what he teaches you, you can have a better outcome. And, you know, he really lays this out really well. And I listened to the Audible. I did not read the book. As I've said before, I really don't read as many books as I usually, or I typically have in the past. I'm always busy, and instead of making an excuse for myself to not read and learn, I'm always listening to something in my earphones or in my vehicle when I'm driving. So, yeah, I definitely would listen to this. I think for me, how he explains things, it sounds like the Audible to me makes more sense than reading the book. But so in your life, we negotiate almost all aspects of our life, either with ourselves, our significant other, our kids, our friends, a stranger on the street, to in business, you name it. We use negotiation all the time. Sometimes it's very, very comedic to very, very serious. And the caveat is never splitting the difference and having the other party believe they are receiving a deal. That's the outcome. When you can get everything you asked for and they walk away feeling like it was like a win-win, that is what you're going for. So my question is, what are some challenges you may have during conflict or during negotiations? Do you have a plan to split the difference? Maybe you should check out this book and really learn an alternative method. And it's not a bad way to do it. 50-50 is okay. But personally, for you and or your business, your family, your goals, your aspirations, everything like that in your life, is 50-50 going to get you where you want to go often? Or achieving those milestones and goals, et cetera like that, to the max capacity, will that get you closer faster? So that's kind of the concept and thought behind his mindset when it comes to negotiating. And you should check out the book. It's really good. Yeah, so that vanilla and coffee just settle right with each other, and it's like a bed where caramel just lays on top also. Really good whiskey. So business updates. So March 1st and 2nd, we will be at the Off-Road Expo here in Utah at the Southtown Expo. So if you're in Utah, if you're listening to this in Utah, and you're going to be in the Off-Road Expo, come drop by, say hi, try some of our beard products. Also, I'd like to hear some of your stories if you agree or disagree, or you have any hobbies that align with what I talk about on the Weekend Flex. Also, coffee. Dakota and I on Sundays will be doing our A Cup with Joe and Dakota. Also, we'll be having the Outdoor Bivouac Beard Oil be championing that as our beard oil for the flagship of the spring season here, because going spring goes into summer, and that Outdoor Bivouac will keep those bugs away from your face. It'll moisturize your beard and skin, and you get a nice little shine to it too. So it's a win-win situation, and keeping those bugs away, and really getting on my soapbox and just telling people you gotta try Outdoor Bivouac if you're that person who's outdoors, a weekend warrior, camper, fisher, hunter, you name it, outdoors, farmer. If you're the person who is holding a sign for construction. Perfect for you. So also, a couple other events on the docket. In June, we're thinking of going to Cheyenne, a Celtic Fest. I've never been there before. My dad has years ago, and I think it would be an amazing way to interact with more beards and men in kilts, and just really just have a great time with the folks up there and who join up there. Also in August, we are, excuse me, let me back up. So that's in June. So also in June, we may be going to the Utah Payson Scottish Festival. The reason why I'm saying maybe is because apparently there's already 2 beard companies there, and they may or may not let us in there because I guess they're regulars. So we'll see about that. Hopefully we can get in there. I think that we bring a lot of opportunities and differences in our product. Heck, we have KILT in our name of our company, right? So hopefully we'll be there in Payson also. In August, we're planning on going to the Arizona Barber Expo. I love Arizona, nice and hot in August, of course, but it'd be great to interact with the industry down there. So I look forward to potentially going down there. Also, October, Las Vegas Barber Expos. I love Vegas. I was born in Vegas. I've lived in Vegas. So that's definitely on the list to go there in October to check it out with the industry also down there. And I think it's sometime in October, November. I haven't checked the schedule, the convention schedule, but we will probably finish up the year in the Utah Barber Expo also. This year is really going to be pushing the brand awareness amongst the barber industry and customers to engage with our brand. That's what we're really going for. Appreciate you guys listening to this YouTube and to interacting with our social media. And we love to hear your stories of how our beard products are helping change your perspective in your beard and making it look good, and that it's going from an unhealthy version to a very healthy version of itself. And I do want to give a shout out to Bread and Honey up in Minnesota, who is now representing our products in their lovely establishment up in Minnesota. So thank you for giving us a chance, and hope your people up there love our product. That also touches on the point that we want to serve beards everywhere. So if you or someone you know has a natural health grocer, health store, or a similar establishment and would be interested of including KILT Beard Co.'s products, please don't hesitate to reach out and be a referral. We also have an affiliate link at the bottom of our site, KILTBEARDCO.com, where you can be an affiliate also, and we would appreciate your support as we continue to grow. So it's mapped out to be a busy 2024, and a guiding quote this year is, if the price of winning is too high, wait until you get the bill of regret. So full steam ahead. To next week, be safe. Cheers. Have a great weekend.